This is your daily market recap for Monday, June 26, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka The Trading Edge, and this is your daily market recap for Monday, June 26th, 2023. Hopefully you had a great weekend, and let's get into it. As we kept repeating, please keep an eye on the markets. They're expecting, or at least I'm expecting based on prior history, all the knowledge of the 20 years of trading, that if you're up big into the end of the quarter, end of the month, there's going to be some profit taking. The leaders have started to lag. We've noticed that. Some of the laggards have started to catch up and chop around. But in general, the names that went parabolic are starting to have profit taking, not making higher highs, making lower lows, chopping around. Hopefully it is clear as day. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. If you're new to the channel, check out Discord link is in the description below. And ever a question, don't be scared to hit me up. Again, worst case scenario, I can't get back to you quickly, but I'm always trying to help everyone out if they have questions. New to the channel, check out Twitter. Definitely posting tons of stuff about what's going on, what we're thinking. If you're listening on YouTube or any of these other fine social media platforms, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do tons of live chats, and also there's tons of videos here on YouTube for learning how to trade. Educational trading videos, there's 52 of them. Trust me, it's great. And it's on my website, thetradingagent.com as well. From more beginner to advanced, as you can see. There's also real estate stuff. Daily market reviews are all posted there too. That's it. If you have any other questions too, please take advantage of the markets rate. I've said this over and over. I don't make anything. And honestly, I'm sharing someone else's code. But you get 5.15% for 3 months. Then if you share it with people, you get another 3 months. If the rates change, they go higher, they'll give you 5.15. I have not seen them ever decrease the rates, but at this point, 3-month promotion, and then it goes down to 4.15. But I have found that the app is amazing, and it's very easy to share with folks. And once people start realizing, like, hey, I need to keep money under $250,000, or I'd like to have a higher interest rate, hey, you start sharing it with people. It's pretty easy to convince people that this is solid because, again, it's Goldman Sachs. Buffett owns it. It's not going anywhere. All right, Fed Watch Tool. What do we expect in July? We've talked about it's going to fluctuate constantly. I literally refresh minute to minute. It hasn't changed. Again, this could change as things change in the market, but at this point, they're expecting a rate hike. The Bitcoin, we talked about it, could struggle up here at 30,000. Looks like it's struggling. Oil, said for what feels like forever. Chop, chop, chop. I anticipate more OPEC cuts in time, but demand destruction is real. All that really tells me is that there's going to be a higher floor. I don't see negative pricing in oil at some point. Natural gas, we've talked about, going to be choppy, sloppy. We've talked about this like constant game of, it ran up into, I guess, August. I guess you could have a nice little June, July pop. I don't know. Again, seasonality is tough with this stuff. Again, the war stuff might be, or the escalation in Ukraine, Russia stuff could get maybe countries trying to secure more natural gas to make sense. But is the price really going to spike and sustain? That's the hard part. In my opinion, recession is coming globally. It's just a matter of whether we have war or not, right? And I know some people argue that war is probably going to be likely. We'll see. The dollar, we've talked about it chopping, making higher highs, higher lows. I think the dollar is going to go higher in time. I've said this 1,000 times. I think the Feds are more concerned about the dollar interest rates than they are the economy at a certain point because, again, if they lose control of the reserve status of the dollar and interest rates, then you got problems. And basically not maybe interest rates, but U.S. Treasuries, then they got the problems. So far, they're continuing to raise rates, do what they're going to do. TLT, as we talked about, chopping, slopping around. Again, I don't really care about interest rates until we break out of this range. That's all I care about. And either way, the market will probably react that way. The VIX, a lot of folks said, hey, notice that the market was down and chopping and the VIX was all day up. Yeah, we'll see. Get over the 20-day. Again, we talked about VIX termination. Unreal. I'm not surprised, but just please keep in mind when you hear that the VIX is dead, be scared. I'm telling you, be scared because that's trying to convince retail traders, retail mindset, retail investors, everything's going to be fine. Is everything really going to be fine? Is the bear market over? You ever seen a bear market top with a VIX under like 48? I haven't. Well, our peak in October was 38. It's just a matter of when, not if. And you get more destruction. VIX we've talked about has been holding up, the VIX of the VIX, right? Look at this, back into the channel. You would think this thing would be in the 70s. It's not. SPY. Talked about OPEX, TOPEX. Oh, there it was. And now we're coming back down. Said watch the 20-day, watch the 430 area. Now again, just keep in mind, these are very strong moves for the quarter, right? Like literally you bottomed right early in the quarter, rallied the whole quarter. Don't be surprised if there's profit taking, okay? I've said this a million times. If you end, here you go, hey, October, right, September, right? We talked about there be profit taking into the month, shorts, and then bought back. Again, could we retest? I mean, anything's possible. But I'm telling you, if you run up in one or up or down into a quarter, month end, there will be profit taking of the trend. Well, the trend has been up. There you go. QQQ, here's the go. The leader is now starting to lag, right? At the 20-day, starting to break down. And this is a huge move, y'all. 286 up to 375. It is the best, I think they said 6 months from the lows in the NASDAQ in its history. In its history, literally. So just keep that in mind. If you see the QQQs continue pulling back, not surprised. Remember, we talked about this blow off top. You got it. Let's get into some of the names. You'll see it shortly too, though. However, we talked about the IWM. Should be much higher. It definitely has dropped a lot more below the 20-day. And people are like, oh, it's up today. Is that leading? And it's like, well, it's been leading down. Are you surprised it's chopping around? I mean, this thing is nowhere close to what it should be if the market and the economy were stronger, right? This should be in the 200s. Not so fast, my friend. DIA, right? Same kind of thing. It's industrial, a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just chopping. It's definitely not leading like the SPY. It's definitely not leading like the Qs. So just, again, laggards lag, leaders lead. Be careful, right, when the leaders start lagging and the laggards start lagging, right? It's like that simple. Gold, a lot of people asking, oh, do I buy it? Should I short it? I'm like, just leave it alone. If you don't have any position, leave it alone. We talked about it retesting the highs and it's probably going to fail. Seasonality of the second quarter, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. April, since basically April, May. Crap. Every year. Not every year, but seasonality-wise, not surprised. Again, something runs up big. It's going to pause, pull back. Again, we like gold long-term. We like silver long-term, but I don't think we're there yet until the Feds do what? Pivot. Say it every time. Wait for the Feds to pivot. They're not pivoting yet. Silver, said on the recaps last week, don't be surprised. It holds a 200-day and bounces. Is there a trade there? Sure, if you want, but I would just leave all this stuff alone. Honestly, I'm going to try to wrap through it quickly. GDX, same thing, leading. We talked about the miners lead down. They look worse than gold, and I mean, I guess they look kind of like silver, but double top, dropping, hits massive resistance. GDXJ, the juniors, which are the levered version of miners, look worse, right? Lower high and below the 200-day. Just leave them alone. AG, again, some of these names, don't be surprised if they chop around. Don't get too excited about them. Oversold bounce, just it is what it is. AEM, we talked about it breaking recent lows, 200-day, chopping around. I mean, there's not much to say. Newmont, which has been historically a leader, I mean, this thing is nowhere close to the highs. It looks more like AG, PAAS, same thing. All look. That was me making a fart sound. Look like crap. Again, could they bounce here? Do you want to be the first one? I'm telling you right now, if the baby goes out with the bathwater, the market starts peeling back. No one's buying the miners until the Feds pivot. I promise that's been the tendency. That's worked every time. I'm going to assume it's going to work until it doesn't. Taiwan Semi. Again, let's talk about some of these semiconductor names that have blown off. This top looks very ominous. I don't think you're getting another version of it. Could they head and shoulders maybe at some point, maybe next week, later this week? I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't test back to the 96 level. Micron, again, another blow off top that's not getting filled in my opinion. Weak. Again, all these semiconductor names for the most part look like absolute dog crap, and they got bought up because of AI. And who was the idiots to chase AI at the highs? Retail, because they were marketing to it. Remember in May, AIAIO, AIAIA, yeah, like everything. And now, guess who bought all of that? Who has sold that bill of goods, right? Retail. Who is distributing? Professionals. Now there's no support. Are you surprised? NVIDIA starting to look a little ominous, right? 20-day. Better hold, my friend. If not, going back to 374 pretty quickly, in my opinion. Intel. Blow off top. Now, again, someone's like, yeah, look, it'll bounce on the 20-day. Well, yeah, of course, it makes sense. But how high? Again, a lot of these candles look very stretched and blow-off-ish. And when I say blow-off top, what that means, it could same thing as a blow-off bottom. When the tops and the bottoms are extremely emotional and they just end. They literally just end. Like, they end because of exhaustion. Like, you get stretched so far, there's no one left to buy. At the lows, there's no one left to sell. Adios, 20-day, right? Adobe. Same thing, blow-off top, 1.382. Apple. This one now, a lot of people are saying 190. I can see it because it's a fib extension. I mean, again, pick your poison, right? Do what you got to do. I don't know if it'll get there or not, but it's holding up, so you can't argue that. Amazon, today, a little outside candle. Engulfed the previous day, looking bearish. CRM. CEO sells $100 million worth of shares. Yeah, I guess he must be really committed to AI. Chop and top. And Guggenheim, we've talked about for weeks how it just can't get out of its own way in this 120s. Starting to make new lows, not bullish. Meta, man, this is about time this thing breaks. Eat this bar up, get below the 20-day, see what happens. You know, the whole fuck around and find out. Like, that thing could get absolutely smashed. Microsoft starting to break the 20-day. Again, all tech that was leading is starting to do what? Not looking that strong. Hopefully you can see that. NDAQ we talked about. Over time, people will not be, the NASDAQ composite will not be where the volume is at. People will not be buying tech stocks just like after the dot-com bubble. This stock is telling you the same. It peaked last year. It's not coming back. The volumes are not going to be the same on the NASDAQ. I promise you that. It's just they won't. That's just how it is. Money rotates. It's not destroyed. MicroStrategy, we talked about. If Bitcoin gets tired up here, will it get over the 330s? Not looking like it. Netflix. Here you go. 20-day. I mean, again, a lot of these names starting to weaken out. Roblox. Chopping. Again, I like this as a buyout at a right price, but not here. Tesla. Whoop. Said railroad bars. Left-right combo. Tweezer. Outside top. Uh-oh. Fills gap. Comes back. Close at the low day. I mean, I'm probably going to hold in the 230s. Just keep an eye. Now, again, I could be wrong. This stuff could absolutely just get murdered. Just keep that in mind. Materials. Again, we think is a long-term bull market that's going to take some money on here and there when people are dumping tech. If they're not buying the dollar and if they're not buying bonds. Yeah, this stuff. But again, global growth. I mean, these names shouldn't be this low. So just keep an eye on them. Like, again, watch the levels because I think that's probably, again, I think Nucor, maybe Caterpillar, you could short some of these names that are closer to the highs and they got inflection points. But in general, probably not doing too much. Nucor. Or sorry, Caterpillar, same thing. Again, we talked about getting up here, chopping around. VALE, this is another name, global growth name, just dead cat bounce. People are going to say head and shoulders bottom. Okay, we'll see what happens. I mean, I personally just don't know why anyone would be buying this stuff down here. Arrow, yep, holding up. I mean, this is a name we like longer term because it's small, like a smaller mid cap. Dig it. CCJ, don't dig it at all. We've talked about once you got up to the upper range bound. Again, it's not whether you like uranium or not. It's just the way the price action works. Now you're back below the 20-day. Again, I will probably pick this up in the 18 to 21 range. CF, another one, oversold bounce. We talked about it rallying. Here you go, maybe up to 100-day, whatever, this area. Again, we like ag names. You got to eat. Commodity bull market, you got to eat a lot. 20-day for them. Again, I think all of these names, just let them play out. If you have to trade them, don't assume they're going to rip higher because if the market pulls back, come on, they're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Everything goes. Alcoa, another one that should be up, holding up, lows. XLF. Now, we talked about watch for weakening. Talked about it. We talked about it. Now, again, I'm trying to be just 100% transparent. Said watch the mid-30s, 332 area. We got up here, 200-day, outside little gap, and then gap, professional gap down since making lower lows, lower highs, chopping. JP Morgan, if you shorted this in the 144, 143 areas, hot damn. Just, again, could it get back up there? I don't know, but it feels like it's done. It's going to go at some point. Morgan Stanley, again, we talked about the credit crisis, like this kind of stuff. That it's like you can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's not like commercial real estate got fixed because they bailed out a few banks. It's not like they figured out how to get people to stop running their deposits away from banks, right? Because they're going to try to do Fed coin, right? People aren't running. Here you go. Trend line, Goldman, keeping on it. Carry, we talked about this one was dead cat bounce. Everybody hated. Again, the sentiment, oh, small banks going out of business, rallies back. Now it's starting to roll back over again. I think it's just a matter of time. XPI, this gets interesting, right? Because we broke the channel. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. I know some people shorted it. High five to you. Solar, said it for a while. It's kind of a joke. Oil and gas go nowhere. Governments can't spend money freely. They're not investing in oil and gas. Going to take a break. ENPH. Talked about bouncing and then shorting it. Now it's getting back towards the lows. I mean, ultimately, this thing probably goes a lot lower, but it's again, it needs to build up and then break. That's my opinion. That's the best way to break it. Maybe next week. I don't know. But build up to break, right? Bring in more suckers, then it's going down. Sedge, if you shorted this in the 315 plus area, you love your life. Breaking the trend line. Now, again, a little bounce here. Okay, whatever. Watch the 8, 10-day. Watch the 250s, but it looks broken. First Solar, talked about it. Once it filled the gap, it would chop around. Man, it did not. 3 days, and now it's making lower lows. Uh-oh, again, solar. I mean, this stuff all is lining up. Oil. USO, again, we talk about it just going chopping. UNG, if you have to play this thing, please trade around it. Sell some covered calls. Would love it after reverse splits. The XO Pizzle. Chopping around again, 115 to 114, like 110, teens. I like this stuff on bigger pullbacks. ExxonMobil, again, if you shorted this one up in the 116, 118 level, you're just got to expect chop, and that's what you got. You got the best price. trade around your positions. It looks like it's going to roll over at some point. Occidental, again, unless some of the stuff breaks out in Ukraine, you never know. Holding the lows. Buffett selling more cover calls than he knows what's possible. PXD seems to be holding up. Right? Chop and chop, 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 chop. Got it, got it, got it. EQT and Flex LNG, we'll end it there. Talked about some of these nat gas names popping because nat gas is pop. Okay, keep an eye on it. Now, long term, I mean, I don't know what the right price to buy some of these names is, but, you know, again, I'd keep an eye on them. And then, again, last but not least, Flex LNG. We like this dividend on this. I think Congress is buying all they can. Long-term price targets, I think, could be much higher, but after it goes from like $4 up to 38, are you surprised that it has to consolidate in a big range for a long period of time? No, you shouldn't be, because when it is ready, remember, the more people trapped in here, the more people give it up. Now the money goes from weak hands to strong hands. So if you ever have any questions, again, please reach out. Always here for real estate needs as well. Love you guys. Please be safe. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, or you want to donate, want to get involved, Marcus account, whatever, hit me up. Talk to you later. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.